Hurricane, a tidal wave. Essence perfect, life looks brilliant. Give me more of this. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You bury me, bury me. Yeah, you bury me, bury me. You've got me hypnotized. Push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can see, I can hear, going crazy, but the light has got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. Get you out of my hand again. Is it wrong? Is it right? It's like I've won my final war without a fight. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You bury me, bury me. I know you bury me, bury me. You've got me hypnotized. Push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can see, I can hear, going crazy, but the light has got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. Get you out of my head. Get you out of my
Please note,
Never gonna stop, never gonna change, never gonna do the things you say. I run my own way to get there. Pulls a coin in the eye, seem to care. In the air, no more crowd, just the opposite kind of two clouds. So tell me this time is coming, I'm sick of all your lies. Why don't you try to be wise? Know that I need you anyway. I never wanted to be alive, just to feel like I'm fading. And though my heart breaks a beat at time, I've crossed the lines just to tell you. Don't lead the way, don't even say that I try with a child playing in the rain. I feel like I'm fading.
Hello, everybody, and happy Sunday to you. Hope you've been having a fantastic week, and it's hopefully going to get a whole lot better as we are here at your favorite Sunday sports streaming show, Point of View. I am Bobby Munson, and I am all by myself at the moment. Yes, I'm going to be joined by Ed and Andre here very shortly. They will be hopping in. Mark, unfortunately, is still under the weather, unable to make it. It's why he was unable to make last night's post show for the Royal Rumble there. So unfortunately, he will not be joining us here this Sunday. But of course, like I said, I would have friends popping in very soon. And if he's ready to go, he is backstage right there. Hello, Ed. How are you doing?
It's me. I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing really well. I actually got to bed at a reasonable time considering that there was a premium live event on last night. So I can't complain.
Helton said premium live event starts at 6 p.m.
Yes, they could do that more often. That was wonderful. Great start time, especially for a big show like that.
Yeah.
So
I have caught up.
Oh.
I wasn't around to watch it last night, so I have caught up on everything except the tag match.
Wonderful, wonderful. SDG's up in the house saying no Mark, no Andre. No Mark. Andre will be joining us very, very shortly, but just in the meantime, you get myself.
Yeah, you get me.
Ed.
Me, STG.
So, yes, because of that, Ed, I want to know, because you weren't there on the post show because you got to just catch up. I want to know your thoughts on this year's Royal Rumble event.
I thought that, as it has been in previous years, the women's match was structured better. It was more interesting in terms of the people who were in it, and it was more interesting in the surprises that they brought to us. However, as per usual, I thought that the storytelling elements throughout the entirety of 1 through 30 were much stronger, more prevalent, and more heavily focused in the men's rumble, where the eliminations were a bit quicker and a bit more steady, so that they didn't have too many bodies. Unlike at points in the women's rumble where it felt like there were a lot of bodies, which again isn't a bad thing, but there's a stark difference between storytelling A and storytelling B.
That's fair. So did you have a favorite between the two? Because you gave reasons why you liked either or, but was there one in particular that stood out big time?
Oh, the women's rumble. The women's rumble was by far better.
Okay. But how about the
While I
surprise?
enjoyed the storytelling of the men's rumble, I think the storytelling that the men's rumble is going to give us going forward is going to be a very intriguing and interesting idea.
There were too many.
Yeah, in the early half, there were a lot of bodies in that rumble. They were not eliminating too many in that women's rumble. I mean, Carmelo Hayes got dumped out early. Santos Escobar got dumped out early. But I thought both were structured well, but I really liked the way that the women's rumble flowed, and I think I liked the star power of that women's rumble in terms of showing us the depth that truly exists inside that WWE women's division.
Oh, yeah. And it was shown for sure. And it's Andre in the house. Andre, how are you doing today?
I'm doing phenomenal, gentlemen. A little
great.
tired, just woke up, but I'm doing all right.
That's right. You are an hour behind myself and a couple hours behind Ed, so we'll let you off the hook. But how was your Royal Rumble viewing experience last night?
Wonderful. Hung out with Melball, Peggy, Adam, and Andreas. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize you were here, STG. Where did I put your sign? Sorry, here it is. STG in the house.
There we go.
Yeah, hung out with everybody at Melball's place, watched the pay-per-view. It was a good time. Enjoyed both Rumbles. Yeah, I agree with STG. There was a lot of surprises in the women's Rumble. Pretty much none in the men's Rumble.
You had Joe Hendry.
No, but again, but I wasn't really surprised. I think
we had I Show Speed.
Oh,
who got an elimination?
Oh, I'm sitting there watching I Show Speed, and man,
you know what though?
SPG's right about this.
Yeah, that was a surprise. But I'm saying for like entrance outside of I Show Speed, maybe the return of AJ. It was a surprise, but even then, it's still it's return season, right? You know what I mean? This is return season.
So that I think that's the thing that we have to talk about here. We get so hung up on return season and surprises in the Rumble that some people forget that the Rumble is 30 entrants and a storytelling tool, and they really I don't know if. Okay, on my screen, Andre had frozen with this great little look on his face. Like, so it was fantastic. I don't know if that happened for anybody else.
I just turned my computer on, so it's booting stuff up.
And I think that the men's Rumble, throughout the entire thing, every portion of it seemed to have some intriguing and interesting storytelling elements going on. Where at the beginning, it's Chad Gable and his luchador problem. Whether it was in the middle and you're talking about Braun Breaker and destroying of the roster. As you get towards the end, now you get to the big guys. You've got Roman and Jacob. You've got Jacob and Braun. Braun Breaker, that is. Over the Braun Strowman shit. And then you get to the very end and you have the Punk, the Rollins, all of it all, the Roman of it all. Like there's so much good start. The final 6 in the men's Rumble is so damn well told. Between having Punk eliminate both Rollins and Roman because Roman and Rollins can't stop fighting with each other. To have Logan Paul be in there in the final 6 and to play a smart game for the most part in his few minutes in that match. And then, swerving everybody a little bit, I believe, in having Jey Uso win the men's Royal Rumble. Like, that's... I thought we were going to get John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. That was that's the match I wanted at WrestleMania, to be honest with you.
We still might, though. We still might, and this is what we heavily discussed last night. Cena last night declared himself as an entrant into the Elimination Chamber.
Just not sure which one.
Fair, but I just imagine that he's going to go in there. It's going to be... I can't see any other story other than Jay going after Gunther and finally conquering Gunther at WrestleMania.
I don't know. If you gave me a day, I could tell you the story between Jey Uso versus Cody Rhodes.
Jay has already said he wants Gunther. He said it at the press conference. He wants another shot at Gunther. He said it at the press conference. So
I know that's where they're going to go, but I'm just saying, if you give me a day, I can storyline out from here to Mania how you tell the story of Jey Uso versus Cody Rhodes.
Oh, that's very fair. And before we go any further, I just want to give a quick shout out to Bobby Stats, who's joining us over on the social media side. I'm watching through Instagram. We don't get the messages, Bobby, through here, but we do want to say good morning to you as well, too, my friend. Yeah, but I mean, honestly, Jay winning was a surprise, but it was also like a pleasant surprise, in my opinion, too, because it's finally showing that they're willing to bank on somebody who has authentically gotten over with the audience, very over with the audience. It was a shock in a way that people would still get behind it. They're not, I don't know. I don't know what everybody's screaming at the top of the mountain right now, but if you guys have seen anything, does there seem to be any resentment towards Jay winning last night? Because I haven't yet to hear any.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't had the opportunity to look. So,
like Jay, and from what I've seen, Jay is it's an organic person to put in there. But like, have you guys talked to Women's Rumble yet?
A little bit, but we can talk about it too. Keep going. Keep the flow going. Again. Oh wait, no, hold
sure.
on. I was gonna say you don't like the winner of the Women's Rumble. Maybe we shouldn't talk about it.
Well, no,
I do.
I'm not an asshole. I'm not happy that she won it, but again, I'm sad Triple H went predictable with this Rumble. But
the Queen is back.
And
the Queen is back.
The main problem I have is Charlotte hasn't wrestled in over a year, and she comes back and wins the Rumble. I'm just disappointed. There's no story. Now she's like, oh, I'm a champion. I'm going to get my championship back at Mania. And I'm like, okay, so I don't have to watch the women's division on SmackDown anymore. Great. That's just one portion less of WWE that I have to watch. And that's the one good thing about Charlotte winning this is I don't have to watch women's SmackDown, the women's title program on SmackDown anymore. I know I don't, because I just don't have to care.
Hear me out on this. They might have gone predictable with the winner. And the easy bet is to say that Charlotte is going to win the championship at WrestleMania. But if they wanted to continue to build a star in Tiffany Stratton, what perfect way then to give her a moment by retaining against the Queen Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania.
And I'll watch that match at Mania.
Hold on a second. I just want to say something here. Why are we all locked in that this is Tiffany Stratton that Charlotte's chasing?
Because she's done the Rhea thing twice, and they were brilliant.
There's a WrestleMania rubber match that they could tell. And you know how WWE loves to do these 3-match segments. Charlotte versus Rhea would be a third WrestleMania match because they wrestled during the COVID mania. They wrestled, what was it, 2 years ago, right? At WrestleMania 39?
Both of which were the best matches of the night. I am not
Yeah.
denying that. Yeah. And like, as much as I want that rubber match to happen, I almost feel like they should prolong it just a little bit this time. Give it to us down the road. I think that there are other avenues for Charlotte to visit upon return than going back to the same old trope right now. And I think that her versus Tiffany Stratton has a lot going for it in that sense. And I think that there is probably equally some great opportunity to put somebody in with Rhea, and looking at some of the candidates like an Io Sky or something like that, and Rhea at WrestleMania has a lot of appeal to it.
Also, I don't know if my beating heart can handle Charlotte versus Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania weekend. I mean, I'm just this old ticker's only got so much in it. And Charlotte Flair, my queen, versus Tiffany Stratton, one of my favorite. I don't know if I can handle that one.
I'll watch. I'm gonna, because again, in ring, Charlotte looked great. Like, again, I have no denial of how good she actually is in the ring. She's one of the best. I will happily concede that point, because again, there's no arguing it. Just personally, I'm tired of her. I've watched her win a championship, 13 times? I don't need to watch number 14. I don't care. Again, John Cena, I don't care if he ever wins another championship. I don't care about him getting to 17. I don't give a shit.
Oh, Andre.
He won't get it.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't care. I'm excited to see John Cena do some stuff this year. That's cool. But again, it's not what is exciting me about WWE. John Cena is not what's drawing me in. I'm more amped to see Jey Uso win his world title than a John Cena world title win. I'm more amped for a lot of things. But again, I don't care about Charlotte and Cena anymore. They're the past to me. I don't care. I've stopped caring about both. I will watch them wrestle on the pay-per-views at the Manias. I'm just not going to watch the programming on TV with them in it because I don't care.
Okay, so but I want to throw.
I have a question just for Andre about this.
Yep.
Does the same go for Hiroki Goto, Tanahashi, Shibata? No, well, but they're the past. They're the past. They've happened. They're done. They're the past.
Not to me. Again, and I'm saying this is all a personal. I'm saying this is I'm saying this is a personal opinion. That's my opinion of those two. That's not my opinion of them. I'm saying that's my opinion of those two because I don't care about them anymore. I still care. Again, I could give a fuck less if Tanahashi was wrestling at all this year. Like, his matches are the same. It's almost the same formula every time. Goto is doing the best work of his career, so that's already better.
Oh, I threw out some of the three oldest names that I know that are Japanese, and I know Shibata doesn't even do New Japan anymore. They won't let him, but I'm just saying.
Well, Shibata is doing some of the best work of his career in AEW. It's arguably, but like, dude, look at Yuji Nagata and Minoru Suzuki doing some great work in their 50s.
But Suzuki is Murder Grandpa. He's special. He's different.
Yeah, but I also haven't been watching Tanahashi in these. I've only been watching these guys since the mid 2010s, like regularly. I would see odd matches before that, but I only really got hardcore into New Japan Pro Wrestling. Was it 2014, 2015 when they did Wrestle Kingdom 9 with Global Force Wrestling partnership? That's when I got hardcore into New Japan Pro Wrestling. So for these guys, they're only about a decade of wrestling for me. I've been watching John Cena since 2002. I don't care. Again, Charlotte, I've been watching her since about that same time. I know. I'm just done with her because, again, she's been so front and forward present. I'm just done. I never cared for her to begin with. So that's part of the reason why I don't care about her now. I never liked her then. I don't like her now. Again, I will give her all the flowers. I will give John Cena all the flowers for how good they are. They are both phenomenal characters, both phenomenal professional wrestlers. If you tell me John Cena is not a phenomenal professional wrestler, you're an idiot. It's because he knows how he is. And I'll say this, and please don't hate on me. In his day, Hulk Hogan was a phenomenal professional wrestler because it's not all about the in-ring. I love a good in-ring wrestler, but Hulk Hogan did a lot with a little. And that's the same thing with John Cena in the early part of career. He did a lot with a little, and he evolved himself. I just don't care about them anymore. They're to me, they're not what I want to see in WWE anymore. I want to see Tiffany Stratton. I want to see Io Sky. I want to see Rhea. I want to see the new era of women. That's what I want.
Fair enough. Just going to mention back over on the other chat here that Bobby said that Rhea and Jordan Grace would be an awesome match in the future. Agree with that. And kind of interested to know, is there anybody that Trish Stratus would be going up? Is Trish's appearance from last night going to go any further than a Royal Rumble appearance?
Oh, I got some news for you there.
Do you?
So we were watching live I was watching live with Melball, Peggy, and Andreas Nato. When Trish came out, Melball had the biggest groan in the world. She was so anti-Trish Stratus, man. It was fucking funny. She feels the same way about Trish Stratus as I feel about Charlotte now. No.
I would say I bet I could match hers when number 30 came out. And I was actually excited on the idea that Becky Lynch was coming out at number 30. Yeah. And it turned out to be worse. Nikki Bella? Worse than Becky Lynch.
Everybody in the room went, when they showed the VIP section, did you see the replay of the VIP section when Nikki came out?
Yeah, they were like everybody stood and gave a big ovation is what the commentators were saying. It was just like a flat, dead silence.
And the girl, did you see the girl?
No. Going, flat dead silence was Raquel Rodriguez.
Well, fair.
But did you see the girl that was sitting in the VIP section when Nikki came out, and she's just like, she's just shaking her head no. I was laughing so hard when they replayed it saying standing ovation, and nobody is reacting to her in that section at all.
Yeah. See, in the same week I got to see Nikki eliminated twice, first from the Traders and second from the Women's Royal Rumble. So.
Smart people on the Traders, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, with all due respect, they actually thought that she was a traitor and voted her out accordingly. But
I love my little itty bitty sign. Also, if we're talking the Women's Rumble, I mean, I think as the NXT guy, I gotta talk about Julia, Stephanie Vacour, Roxanne Perez being now the record holder for the Iron Woman in a Royal Rumble match at 1 hour 7 minutes.
Lash Legend,
showing up and showing out, and then just because we're going to do it, and this is something that we can do on the other channel. Where is it? Here we go. Jada Parker was there and got a reaction, so we're gonna flash this at the bottom for a few minutes when we talk about this. But I loved the moment where, because Triple H has been under the gun a lot, especially early on in his thing, for representation. And I think he did
I have no idea what this ticker means. I don't know what she said.
I'll explain it off the air. We'll deal with it.
Okay.
But Triple H has had his fair share of criticism about how he books minorities in some of his programming. And I just want to say I loved that during both the men and the women's Rumble, we had these cool moments where we just had these little moments where people got to kind of embrace who they were and embrace their representation, where you had Bianca, Naomi, Jada, and Lash having that moment in the middle of the ring in the Rumble to kind of be like, this is cool. There's 4 of us here. This is great. And then having Chelsea Green ruin it by coming in and pretending she's part of the group.
Hey, she's already pretending she's American. I guess she wanted to pretend that she was a black woman. It's all Chelsea Green.
Chelsea Green can do no wrong. She is fantastic.
Oh,
Oh, she is.
it was a great movement. Chelsea's moments in the Rumble were great. They were perfectly timed spots. Everything about it worked. She was fun. I think that's again why that Rumble was so strong, is because there was those fun moments and everything in between that were really worth investing the time into and everything. And like I said it last night, one thing people still aren't talking about is that Ivy Nile, the one to get Lyra Valkyria out and then signify I'm coming for you, and that title is you're now building a potential feud for the women's Intercontinental title right then and there as well. That's what I loved about Royal Rumble. I love when we build these little stories in the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the thing that I said, like I was saying about the men's Rumble. There was so much focus to what are our current storylines on television and the men's Rumble. Chad Gable can't handle the luchadors. Roman and Drew and Punk and Seth and all of that. Like, there are so many key pieces throughout the story that they were telling that this were two of the best Rumbles. Not necessarily from a flashy, hey, look at all these people who came into them. But what stories are we telling on TV? How can we utilize 30 people in the Royal Rumble to tell stories about the people we trust and the people we want invested in these products? And how can we build to WrestleMania? Because I guarantee you, there's a chance after last night, Roxanne Perez is on the WrestleMania card. Not Stand and Deliver. There's a chance she's on the actual Mania card after 67 minutes in a Rumble.
Well, look at the Rumble. Look at Jordan Grace in the Rumble. They set up her Stand and Deliver challenge against Julia with Julia putting her out of the Rumble. That set up that match for Stand and Deliver. I guarantee you that's Stand and Deliver. That is Julia and Jordan Grace at Stand and Deliver after she beats. And again, I don't think there's any denial, as much as Ed wants Roxanne to win. Julia's winning the match at Vengeance Day.
Yeah. Somebody hasn't been watching Taking Over in the past 2 months.
STG saying might be showing his age, but he feels the new school Rumbles use the overtop rope holding onto the rope too much. I think it's because they want to show more athleticism. The guys back in the day, I mean, they were bigger boys and stuff. I'm not saying they weren't athletic, but it's a lot more weight to try to be holding on to those ropes and everything. So it might have not had the same kind of visual appeal as it does in a modern day setting, I think is the best way I can put that.
Question.
Can we also talk about the 93 Rumble where Randy Savage tried to pin Yokozuna and got thrown out and lost the final two because they were worried Yoko couldn't get back up. So they had to have Randy jump off Yokozuna as he pushed him off to eliminate Randy Savage in the Rumble because Randy accidentally knocked Yoko down.
Sure, I didn't watch back then, so I don't know. But yeah, question. The Finn Balor elimination from Cena with the FU. Was it? I think it was Balor. Was it Balor? He FU'd somebody out onto Braun Strowman. Or was it onto one of the big guys? Was it Otis or Braun? One of them was supposed to catch. It looked like they were supposed
Otis
to
was
catch
gone long before Cena was in the ring, so it had to have been Braun.
Yeah, maybe it was Balor. Braun. It looked like Braun was supposed to catch Balor, but he didn't. Did you think he was actually supposed to catch him?
No.
Or was that just built? I was like, no. I'm sitting there going, was that a mess up, or was that just the elimination, just to break the fall of Finn Balor?
Yeah, it's hard to say. You know, I want to go back.
I was gonna say one more thing. Logan Paul getting the Kofi spot made me mad.
I think that's why they did it. I think they wanted to make people mad because look at the pop Cena got when he eliminated Logan Paul.
That's true. That's true.
The more you make the appeal, I mean, again, I'm not standing by support Logan Paul in any way, shape, or form. But if you want to talk about someone who is naturally hated by every person in the room, and you want to keep a babyface, the perfect opportunity is to stick them in a ring with the most hated individual there is, and that is Logan Paul. So no matter who you stick in there, they are the babyface.
Yeah.
I also think it's kind of fun, and I want to poor Tozawa. He mentioned on Twitter that this was the first time he was getting an entrance in a Royal Rumble ever, and they wrote him out. But I think he was the perfect person to. If you wanted the comedy moment of I Show Speed, for whatever reason, if you want to do that, I'm not in favor of it. But
No.
I thought it was perfectly done. If you're going to do it, they did it the exact way you need to. Where somebody takes out Tozawa, and then Triple H just looks around the room and goes, "You, out there."
Well,
And
so
Speed's
wait,
like, no,
so
that's not what I'm here for.
when he said that, he goes, "Show, you're in." And I'm like, Big Show's just re-signed with AEW. What? And then it shows I Show Speed, and I'm like, oh, I thought he was yelling for Big Show.
I thought he was yelling for Steve. I thought he was sending Steve Corino in the Royal Rumble.
See, I would have liked it if he would have sent somebody like Aldous out there. I think that would have been fun. Especially if he was still in his business suit and everything. It's like, Aldous, get your ass out there. We need someone.
Here, get in there.
But
yeah,
again,
like either one of them.
But I think it was.
You know what it should have been? It should have been Corey. Corey, get your ass out there.
Well, Corey wasn't in town for the Rumble this weekend. Let's put it that way. But no, I think it was fun because you get Speed, and Speed's like, okay, and they do the thing. But I like how he's like going around and saying hi to people, and like he doesn't do anything, but like he helps eliminate Otis from the Raw, which is hysterically funny.
So my buddy Adam hates I Show Speed as a streamer. He was angry that I Show Speed got an elimination. Because technically he is part of that elimination, so he gets credit for it. He was so mad about that.
But again, I think that the setup and the payoff is really good with it. And again, it's getting into the ins and outs of it. But Bobby, you can appreciate this as much as Andre can. You set up the fun of I Show Speed gets this shocking elimination from the Rumble, and then you immediately pay it off with Braun Breaker being like, hey, this is fun. This is cool. I'm going to break this kid in half.
And
the amount of videos, I've seen this morning on Instagram that I Show Speed is tagged in from fan cams around the arena, shooting him, getting fucking his head taken off with his body exploding with a spear. What is amazing. Like WWE is getting crazy press out of this because the student is an internet celebrity. And that clip is going everywhere, like between the WWE's version and the fan cams, which are just even crazier to see from some of the angles. Dude, it was nuts.
Yeah,
There's no selling there. That was full on tackle, buddy. I don't even think that was a sell. That was a full on tackle.
Oh no, he got wrecked.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Like, and it's going to go over so well. Something like that is only going to continue to push Braun right up that ladder. It's no different from people starting to embrace the way that, Bronson Reed, even though he's not there right now, is sitting at home making some of the most hilarious posts possible. Bronson Reed returns, and he is going to be the biggest badass babyface on the roster upon that return because everybody's embraced loving Bronson. People are inevitably going to like that about Braun Breaker. Yeah, he's portrayed as a dick, but he's also a dick that hurts people, and it's quite entertaining. And when they embrace the social media side of it with dealing with a celebrity, that kind of thing is going to take Braun into a different stratosphere eventually. And he's good. He was good throughout that night. He didn't look weak when he was eliminated. He looked strong throughout. He looked like he was going to inevitably, in a year or two, something like that, be the big bully of the Royal Rumble that might end up being victorious.
Yeah. Again,
Can we also
before when he did the Frankensteiner, did they call it the Breakensteiner?
No,
they call it Frankenstein. I thought I heard Breakensteiner, and then we were yelling Breakensteiner after. So I thought I'm happy to talk about that match.
Yeah, it was. I just have one last thing about the Rumble, and then we can move on to that match.
Yeah, go for it.
Rumble matches. I want to talk because we have Bobby here, and I'm sure he gushed over it. Can we talk about how I don't think WWE has taken to a new signing directly to the main roster as hard and as pushed as well as they have Jacob Fatu? They see money in this man, and they have done everything to make sure that if he takes a loss, he looks good coming out of it. And they are slowly taking the chains off of the werewolf bit by bit. And that promo on SmackDown with Damian Priest is one of the best 90 seconds of promos I've seen from a lot of guys in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
They have done such an immaculate job of positioning Jacob Fatu as a dream match machine in a high place without having him have to wrestle every show. He is just being done perfect.
I almost feel the need, if I ever get ambitious, to go back to some of our MLW reviews that we've done over the years where Bob Smokes and I said a million times, Jacob Fatu is one of the best things going in professional wrestling. And just wait, if somebody can get around the legalities of his past and get him signed to a big company and point him in the right direction with his capabilities, there is a star in the making. And since his debut in WWE, that's all I keep hearing from everybody. And it's like, yes, this is the secret we've been trying to let people know about for a long time. And now that they're letting those chains off, every bit about it was great. His Rumble appearance last night was great. And the stuff with Braun is working for me. The way that they finished Saturday night's main event with Braun, last night, Braun coming out and his whole focus was to go after Jacob, getting the elimination, still slightly being distracted, which then led to Braun being eliminated not long after Jacob as well, too. Perfect. Well done. You had Jacob tangle up with, Roman Reigns in this thing, tell him that inevitable story, but also backed off of it enough that we don't need to go forward with Jacob and Roman immediately, kind of thing. So it was so good the way they treated him.
One more thing, Rumble wise.
Yeah.
After the Logan triple elimination of the top three guys, when Seth double stomped Roman's head into the ground, that looked. I don't care about anything else that happened after with the brawls and the stair stomp. It was that double stomp onto the floor where both feet were on that man's head, crushing him into the floor. That looked amazing. That is the best stomp that Seth Rollins has ever done.
I mean, hell, we can talk Rumble all we want to. SDG, it's fine with me. Like, there's no approval needed, but Seth snapping was cool last night. It really was. I mean, it was cool on the level A, and I'll get you guys to talk about it in a bit with Cody snapping last night and realizing the weight of being a champion is starting to bear down on him and stuff like that. But Seth snapping, because Seth was really leading the charge of, are we going to continue to allow this to be the Roman Reigns show? And so when he snapped, his beef is with CM Punk, but he saw an opportunity to stick it to Roman Reigns there at the same time, and it was beautifully done.
Yeah. Storytelling at its best.
So, like,
and
let's
again,
go. Go ahead.
I was saying this is what I was saying earlier about how they've done such a great job where the Rumble isn't just 30 guys in a ring, get to the guy who wins the Rumble, tell a story in the Rumble. It's telling the stories that make sense based on the things we're seeing on our TV on a week in and week out basis. Triple H is doing the things that we've all complained about for 10 years. And Triple H is not perfectly, but he's trying his best to try to make sure that he tells stories, long-term storytelling, as best he can. It's nice to see long-term storytelling back in WWE.
Yeah. And to SGG's point with Jordan Grace kind of starting the rift between Bianca and Naomi, if they don't put Jordan on NXT, which I do think they're doing with the Julia elimination, If she is main roster bound, are we working our way towards Naomi and Jordan Grace versus Bianca and Jade Cargill at Mania for the titles?
No.
No, because I think we're going to get Naomi versus Bianca at Mania in a straight up one-on-one match. I don't think Jade's ready. I don't think Jade's ready for Mania. That's the only reason why I say that. I don't think she'll be ready.
It's a thought. Is that if Jade's ready, could that be?
I think it'd be a fun thought. I'd be down for it. I think it might be post Mania.
Yeah, I just think Jordan's going to NXT for at least a couple months to do something with Julia for Stand and Deliver.
Maybe.
I think
to the main roster, but
I think if Jade was ready, that I think the one-on-one matches with her and Naomi, because Naomi now coming into the picture as a tag champ with Bianca puts suspicion on the idea that Naomi might have been the one that orchestrated Jade's attack in the first place. But
No, it was
probably.
We all know it was Bianca. We all know it was Bianca.
No, it was absolutely Naomi.
It was Naomi.
I've been saying Naomi since the moment the angle happened.
It's all piecing together. The pieces fit. It really does.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, because I'm going to move on to the Cody Kevin match.
That's what I was about to move us on to too.
Okay. No, I think it was a serviceable ladder match. I think the match fit their story because the ladder was more of a weapon in terms of destroying each other than it was attaining the championships, which is fine because they built the story to be that way. It wasn't a spot fest in terms of spots off the ladder, which is nice. It was a change of pace. It's not my favorite ladder match of all time, but I thoroughly enjoy, again, two storytellers, three if you count Sammy, going out there and telling a fantastic story. And I think that's the epitome of what I look for in my wrestling is stuff like this. I think this was really good at doing what it needed to do. I think the titles were kind of irrelevant, which in terms of this particular match and this particular story, it works. But at the same time, I also really didn't like the continuity issue of them having the championships back after they were taken from them at Saturday night's main event. But that's a small quibble. Like, I could get over that.
And weren't they hanging up there on Monday and Friday too?
Yes, they were. I know they were there Monday. I haven't watched SmackDown yet. I have no idea if they were there Friday. But I know they were there.
I'm so confused how they got their belts back. I'm like, what? No.
Yeah, I hated that they gave them back the championships for the entrance. I really did hate that because they made such a big deal about taking it. And I agree. Again, there's no such thing as perfect booking.
No, again, there isn't. There isn't a perfect way to perfectly book anything unless it's Will Ospreay versus Ricochet in a video game match. That was a perfectly booked match, the video game match back in the day. But again, that's just a personal opinion. But like what they did, the story they told, and having like them, how do I say, like the spots at the end, that Fisherman Buster off the top onto the ladder was perfect, and it showed it was selling Cody almost dead. And then you got that Alabama Slam in Indianapolis where Bob Sparky Plug should have shown up in the Rumble. I was yelling for it, but it was that sell, that how he folded into that ladder, how he took that bump was amazing. And he just stayed like that. He just stayed folded over the entire time. And it was perfect. Like, man, Kevin Owens is the king of the ladder match now. I truly believe he is the king of the ladder match. Because again, look at all the ladder wars he had with Generico back in the day. And now doing this, he is the king of the ladder.
Yeah. I mean, it's, again, saying not favorite ladder match, I would say it's the best one that I've seen in a long time. But I want to go to SGG's question. If not last night, what is? your favorite. For me, HBK and Razor Ramon at WrestleMania 10. It was the first one I ever witnessed and still holds up to this date. So that is personally my favorite ladder match of all time, but curious to know you guys as well.
Yeah, I'm torn. I have two. I mean, the HBK Razor WrestleMania 10 is great. It's so hard not to say TLC 2, the Mania match, because that's a work. I know it's a spot fest, but that's Jeff Hardy like diving off. If I remember correctly, that's the one where Jeff dives off the entrance ramp onto the double stack table. That's the one where Jeff Hardy gets speared through the air. Like, it's so hard not to pick one of these great Hardy ladder matches from the run between them and Edge and Christian, whether it's the Terry Rose Invitational or the Terry Invitational Tournament Final in the ladder match, as WWE called it, because they were immature bastards in the 90s.
Mine is Undertaker versus Jeff Hardy, too.
Such a good match. Took place in Manchester.
That was a surprisingly good one. Like, it just, because of the contrasting styles and everything about it that shouldn't have worked but did. I mean, another great ladder match.
And it was a far less spotty match than you would have expected out of Jeff Hardy, where he got some spots in, but it wasn't a spot fest because he's working Taker. So they worked around the ladder a lot, used the ladder in other ways in that match, and it was just absolutely perfection. And it worked in such a different way from every ladder match that Jeff Hardy had done up to that point. And also, don't forget about TLC 4. Was it on Raw, I think?
Is that the one where Kane wins it by himself because Hurricane got taken out?
Yes.
That has "You Who Shall Not Be Named" in it.
Which one?
They're the reigning tag champs in that. Benoit. It's Benoit.
No, that was TLC 3.
Oh, I
You're
thought
thinking
that
of TLC 3. No, TLC 3 was on SmackDown when it was Benoit and Jericho. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
TLC 4 was for the Raw tag titles. Benoit would have been over at SmackDown at the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But no, the Undertaker Hardy match, because like there are certain matches that are indelled in your mind, and in that match, the scene that I always, when I think of that match, the scene I always think of is Hardy blasts Taker in the head as hard as he fucking can with that chair, and then the call's in the back of my head and it reverberates in there. Get up the ladder, kid. Make yourself famous. The time we actually thought Jeff Hardy might actually win the world championship.
And that was on a spur of him winning and losing a bunch of titles. So did he win like the European Championship in that time? Yeah, I think he won an Intercontinental in that. Like, he won a bunch of titles, won and lost a bunch of titles in that time. I think he was European champ during that match. He was the current European champion. But yeah, TLC 4. TLC 4. I was going to say it's Bubba Ray and Spike versus Rob and Jeff Hardy versus Christian and Chris Jericho versus Kane. It is so random and out of nowhere, but I love that match because, again, that was when I started watching Raw in summer of. I started watching Raw just before the Taker and Hardy match in the summer of 2002. It's when I became a fan of. That's like when I started hardcore watching, and so those two ladder matches are indelibly drilled into this brain.
Let me show my age. I started watching Raw debut January 1993.
I watched shortly after the debut. We didn't quite have USA at the time of the debut, but I think I started watching Raw in 94, shortly after the debut in January 93.
Yeah, but
that's not how any of those pairs go together in any way, shape, or form. So it just hurts the brain to think about that terrible mess that it is. Because none of those teams are the teams that they're supposed to be.
No,
and the team that's the one guy is fucking Kane and Hurricane.
They're the Hurricane.
I understand that, but that doesn't belong either.
Does Hurricane Does Hurricane essentially now belong in the Kane universe that's out there?
No, nothing belongs in the Kane universe. Kane doesn't belong in the
The
fucking Kane universe.
Caneverse. I love
We're
the
not
Caneverse.
talking about cocaine and locaine and blue cane and blue pain and all the bullshit that goes along with that.
Gain, all of them, Candy Cane.
Oh no, I like Gain. Gain's great.
Gain and
Candy Cane is great. Candy Cane was great.
All right, we're moving on from Kane.
All right. Why don't we talk about what's going on next Sunday, boys? I think that should be the topper for the show here tonight.
Right.
We got the Super Bowl in 1 week time.
The football.
We need to make sure that we keep remembering it is the Superb Owl next week.
The Superb Owl. Sorry, yes, the Superb Owl.
And this will be listed as OLE, big game watch along.
Yes, because we have to be very careful because a certain multi-billion-dollar organization really doesn't like anybody like using their trademarked word. So it's the Superb Owl or the big game or all of these things because it's very, very tricky with YouTube when you put that other word in there.
I should edit the title of this particular stream as well too.
No, it's fine now. It's fine now.
Next
they
weekend
don't until the day of.
Oh, fair enough. But yeah, we'll do the watch along next week, you guys, instead of doing a regular point of view. But what are we excited about from next weekend? Either side of the fence interest you guys, or you just care about the halftime show?
I predicted the Super Bowl. I predicted the Super Bowl at the beginning of the playoffs.
You did.
On the road to victory. Fight. Eagles,
Go Chiefs, go!
fight.
Go Chiefs, go!
Score a
Go,
touchdown.
Chiefs, go.
1, 2, 3. Saquon Barkley. Yeah. I just want to see how many yards Saquon Barkley runs for in this game. That's why I want to see more than anything in this game. Yeah. I hate both teams. Don't get me wrong. I hate both teams as a Commander supporter and just a general football fan. I hate both teams because the NFL hates the Chiefs. Or NFL fans hate the Chiefs unless you're in Kansas City. Or you hate or it's like me. I hate the Eagles because I like the Commanders.
Oh, I want to tie one wrestling related thing to our NFL talk last night because I remember Barrett last night making a comment that he hadn't seen officiating this bad since the last Kansas City Chiefs game.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
It was a good comment. Interesting how that officiating will happen.
Michael Cole comment about the little ladder in the ladder match because that one did not. That one screams of Michael Cole having not been on Twitter enough that day to understand that was a bad day to make that comment.
Very fair. But yeah, so is it going to be an obvious Super Bowl win next Sunday or Superb Owl win next Sunday?
I really hope the Birds can take this, can win the big game.
Yeah. I honestly don't care who wins because I think the Chiefs are going to win because honestly, it would just piss off so many people and it would be delightful. But if the Eagles win, then that means that my start predictions from the start of the playoffs was correct and the Eagles are going to be a Super Bowl champion. So either way, I'm going to win.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out, I guess. Yeah, but hopefully everybody joins us for that watch along next weekend. It's going to be a different take for us here on the channel. What time does it start, guys? We know what time kickoff is?
Kickoff is 4:30.
No, the game is at 6, I think. The actual game kick. Oh yeah. So yeah.
My time it's a 4:30 kickoff. So 5:30 my time. 5:30. So 6:30 Eastern is kickoff.
Okay. So, and what are they usually 3 hour ish?
That's funny.
Or more.
Well, are we
going to reach limitations here on StreamYard?
A regular game is
AEW.
3 hours. Yeah. No, it's not going to go 5.
If
you're adding in pre-show.
AEW. You're probably closer to AEW.
No, the timing still have to run out. Again, I see it being from about 4:30 if I'm going off my time, 4:30 to about 7:30 or 8 my time.
But remember, the halftime show is an extended halftime show, so that's nearly
but they still can't run over they still can't run over time. They're still not allowed it because it's the NFL. They don't extend the halftime for that. It's still the same amount of time as the halftime.
No, it's an extended halftime. They've always done it. It's the Super Bowl is always an extended halftime show.
Yeah, but again, that's still only a max of 30 minutes. So that still will only be 30 minutes. So again, we're probably gonna be done by 10 Eastern. Or
just remember, everybody, if you don't care about the games and you don't care about the players, just remember the best commercials of the year are going to be on during this.
There we go.
Me and Bobby don't get to see them. Me and Bobby don't get to see them.
We'll be watching on his own.
I can try something and see if we can. I think I know a way where you guys can see them.
Set up a second room that we can watch the game on. Yeah.
I'll
watch your American feed.
I was gonna say I'll have the live American feed.
I'm gonna have to have like a wall of screens going that day.
If we ever get that sponsorship opportunity to answer from Bobby, have you heard anything about that sponsorship opportunity that I threw out there to you?
Nothing back yet. I applied, didn't get anything back. It's actually I think it's actually the second time I've applied to them, and they denied us the first time. I'm going back this time.
And the thing is, DAZN. When you watch, that's what I would usually watch up here in Canada. When I watch most of my football lately, DAZN it shows the Canadian feed on DAZN Canada. It shows the Canadian feeds if there's a Canadian feed. So we wouldn't get the commercial. So Ed, you're broadcasting it in the other room for us, buddy.
Sounds like a good plan. Love it.
Yay!
All right, but we are getting
football.
We are getting to the top of the hour here, guys. So I think we're going to call it a day on Point of View. So I'm going to start with you, Andre. Why don't you let the people know where they can find you, what you got coming up?
Tonight, myself over at Backbreaker Video on YouTube and twitch.tv/Mike the Ref. We have a 10-year Backbreaker Media anniversary show tonight. So come check us out. It should be at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Myself and Mike the Ref will be there chatting about the history of Backbreaker Media. Talk about our buddy Brian, who is no longer with us, who was there at the start with us, started this and was doing this with us for years. And then we might have a little pop in from Astrid and Melball on there too, possibly, and maybe others if he gets the others to jump in. So come check that out tonight. Twitch.tv/Mike the Ref and YouTube.com/@Backbreaker Video. Come check those out. And then you can find me at youtube.com/@Andre Mel Wrestling Talk, where I do all of my Japanese wrestling content with my partner Melball, where we talk about all the Noah, the Marigold, the Stardom, the New Japan Pro Wrestling, and the local independent wrestling scene. So come check that out.
There you go. Ed, it's your turn. Where can the people find you? What do you got coming up?
Everybody can find me this Tuesday night with Astro Bizarro as we get ready. We're getting close to the go home show for Vengeance Day, so we got a bunch of stuff to talk about there. If you like haterade filled episodes of NXT, I got a feeling I'm going to need some extra haterade for this week's episode.
He's got a feeling.
It looks abysmal. However, if you want to hear me talk about something a little bit better, you can watch me, Bobby Munson, Papa Smokes on Ring Respect Radio this Friday as we talk chaotic wrestling's on thin ice. We worked it out after the stream last week.
You mean Thursday. We got him.
Sorry, I did say Thursday. What day did I say?
You said Friday.
I'm like, that's my night.
Hey, we don't need a Japanese wrestling update. Yes, Chaotic is my local independent scene. I am very excited for this one. It'll be the first time we get Bobby to review one, because the last time we reviewed one here in our local establishment, I was filling in for Bobby.
Yeah,
and we've got a very fun tournament set up for this one. Bobby, do you want to explain to the people the tournament, or do you want me to do it?
You go ahead, swing the explanation,
okay.
Because I mean I get it, but you're better at explaining it.
So the Monarchy are our reigning and defending tag team champions, and they've been winning their tag team matches under Monarchy rules, which are basically we wrestle a match, and if we lose the match, we come up with some cockamamie rule that gives us a reason why we didn't lose the match. Like if we submitted, then only verbal submissions count. you can't physically tap out to cause a submission. One of the other ones was no closed fists. All kinds of crazy shenanigans have occurred for this one. It's a bunch of fun. They've decided to go ahead and do a tournament to crown the people who are going to be able to take them on. But instead of it being a tag team tournament, there are going to be 8 singles competitors in 4 individual singles matches. And the people who win their matches the fastest, the 2 fastest winners, will then combine to become a one-night tag team. And later in the show, will take on the Monarchy for the tag team championships under Monarchy rules. It's absolutely cockamamie, and it's so good, and I can't wait to see how this turned out.
What kind of booking is this? It's great. It's good heel booking is what it is. And SCG want to know how often they put on shows.
They put on shows roughly every 2 to 3 weeks. We typically get 2 shows a month. They're in the build now for Cold Fury, which is their WrestleMania that'll be happening in March. And again, we'll talk more about the history of Chaotic a little bit next week. Bobby's excited because their ring announcer is one of the better ring announcers in all of professional wrestling. He's not as good as Andre, but he's one of the better ring announcers in all of professional wrestling. Rich Palladino.
He's right up there.
Who's now working on a handshake deal for all MLW shows as their official ring announcer, which is nice.
It's probably best to work on a handshake deal at MLW at any point in time in your career. But that's great way of putting it. I can't wait for this Thursday. Ed joining us on Ring Respect Radio to review that Chaotic show. My ticker down below where you can find all my stuff. You're also going to be able to find me not only this Thursday, but you're going to be able to find me on Saturdays with Papa Smokes doing Prairie Pro Wrestling every Saturday afternoon. Sundays here with Point of View. Obviously, next week's going to be a different start time because we're doing the watch along to the Superb Owl. There we go. I got to get used to saying it, so I'm getting used to there. But outside of that, of course, I've got other stuff going on. Just recently dropped my video interview with the singer from American Overdose. That is now available here on YouTube. And go and check out my good friends over at Horror Facts. Horror Facts is a site that does a lot of article writing, now getting into the world of podcasting. They have recently brought on both myself and Astrid as podcasting guests on their programs. I was on we did a recording on Friday night, myself, Joey, Justin, and Alvin, a gentleman who has never seen the movie Scream before, getting the opportunity to watch it and discuss it there with us in the podcast. It makes for a lot of great laughs. I want you to check that out as soon as that becomes available. But yes, also check out everything we got going on here at our local establishment right across the board on all social media, also YouTube and Twitch. Like, follow, subscribe, all those wonderful things. Leave us a comment, turn on the notification bell, and give us a thumbs up. As that will be it this week on Point of View. We look forward to seeing you all out for our watch along next Sunday. So until then, take care, everybody.